Hi everyone in English 1301, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 2 instructional video. It's already week 2 and a big congratulations because you made it through week 1, which can be really overwhelming, especially if you're taking multiple classes and have a ton of other responsibilities. So I'm glad that you made it through. And if you're still feeling a little bit overwhelmed, know that that's okay. Just make sure you're putting aside some time to really click through D2L and all your different courses to kind of get that sense of familiarity, okay? And you can always reach out to me or your other professors if you are still feeling a little bit overwhelmed in general at the end of this week. All right, so where to go and what to do for week 2. The first thing I want to stop by and check on is this announcement area because there were some issues with D2L which are still unexplained. Our OTS people are connecting with the D2L people and we haven't figured out the reason, but our OTS person, Miss Stanley, Miss Grimilda Stanley, has done some trials and some tests, and it doesn't seem as though this issue is continuing to happen. But I know that it was frustrating for a lot of you. It does seem to be that the fix was going to submit your assignment through the content area instead of going directly to the assignments, which I'll touch base on in just a second. But this is also a note that, hopefully you're getting notifications, right? If I post an announcement, it's trying to offer something that's important, not just something random. So make sure you're setting up your notifications to reflect that. All right, so if we go to the content area for this week, if you scroll down, week 2 is available here. And so here we have, what's coming for this week. So we have something to read, which is called What is Academic Writing? It's by Irvin. And remember that not only will I try to post it, in our weekly area, but we also have the book and additional readings section of D2L, that module. And then you're also going to watch a TED Talk by Chimamanda Adichie, which is called The Danger of a Single Story. If you're familiar with her, she's great. She's a wonderful Nigerian author. The talk itself is wonderful, and I think it's a really good way to start thinking about what is this danger of a single story, and what are our perceptions of single stories, especially because in our writing we are often telling a story. Even if it's a research paper, we're putting that information together, and who we are, how we live on a daily basis a lot of times impacts the way that we write. So something to consider. All right, so here for Monday, you're watching the instructional video, so yay you. And then I put across our line through the discussion post video just because it seems like there's a lot going on this week, and I didn't want to add another video to the mix, and we're going to really ease ourselves into more intense discussion posts. So this week you're actually going to have a group discussion post area and then an individual one where you work through some of the ideas from what we read and cover this week. But I give you instructions in the actual prompt about the length requirement and all of that stuff. But if you want to get ahead of the game, I have shared the video for the discussion post as well as the rubric, so you can take a look at that, or just kind of maybe something needs to be put to the side this week and that can be it. All right. And then there is that composition coalition or group work video. Take some time with that. It's a lot to unpack, and you just want to, again, take some time to let it marinate a little bit. Your course survey is due by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Many of you have already completed that, which I really appreciate. And then the prompts are posted for the discussion board area. So this week you actually have 2. You have just the general kind of class discussion post area, as well as the composition coalition discussion. So you'll get those balls rolling, have the majority of the work done right by Thursday. And then on Sunday, one member of your group or your coalition is going to upload a roles and responsibilities plan, which is a form that I've created and I'll share with you. The course survey is here. And then you have your participation quiz. So if we scroll down, you're watching right now what will appear as number 1. And then into, the review section, this is the Composition Coalition Basics that's covered in the video. And then I have the discussion post video as well as the rubric. So you can take some time with that when you're ready. This is the roles and responsibility form. It's also in some other places, so you don't have to necessarily worry about it. And then there's Irvin's article, What is Academic Writing? And so remember, I try to post some things in different areas so that it's just intuitive, because some of you are going to think differently than others. So in addition, in the book and additional readings, you can find Irvin's text. It's linked here, but it's also here. So it's whatever kind of makes sense in your mind. Hopefully I've put it in that place. All right, so to do, the first thing is just the general kind of discussion. So once that opens, you'll probably be placed into a small-ish group, right? Versus our coalition groups, those are 4 to 5 people, but I wanted to kind of limit how many discussion threads you see at a time, because that can be really overwhelming. So we're kind of condensed a little bit and make it a little bit more personal, right? You're not speaking into a void, you're writing for a group of people that can then respond. So for the week 2 discussion, I put here, remember to start your own thread with your name and your chosen pronouns if you would like to share that. For our purposes this week, the paragraphs below should be 4 to 5 sentences. So I'm not asking for research yet, which usually makes longer the paragraph or the sentence requirements. And I put here, remember to take time for revisions and edits. I can't stress that enough. We are in a composition course, right? So I really suggest that you compose your work in Microsoft Word. And this not only provides a safe place for you to actually save your work, because sometimes D2L will time out. So you'll be typing your response in the text box and something will happen because D2L is quirky and funky and often annoying, just saying. So you can compose in Microsoft Word because you can utilize the grammar and spell check features, but also download Grammarly, use that, why not? Like, we don't have to be grammar experts. No, we do not. We just need to know the tools that can help us. So after you compose your work in Microsoft Word, you then would copy and paste your writing in the text box. So you wouldn't upload that document from Word, you would just copy and paste the text because it's easier for us all to read. So I put review the discussion post rubric here. I put note that we're easing into the writing. So the rubric may refer to elements like research that are not required just yet. But in one paragraph, you're going to work on Adichie's talk and what she means by a single story. So some additional questions to think about. And then in another paragraph, I want you to really focus in on identifying the myth you most relate to from Irvin's article. So that's where you can, bring yourself into the conversation, your own experiences, okay? So I think that's just as important as, thinking about any of the chapters on writing or the things that we will work on this semester is your own writing story. All right, so that's the week 2 general discussion. If we go back to the week 2 module, this is the Composition Coalition's first discussion. And so you will see, let me make sure I'm not overwhelming everybody. When you log in, you'll see this. You'll see 2 discussion posts already that you'll respond to, and then some additional information here. So it just kind of reminds you of the plan for the Composition Coalition. Here again is the handout, and then this is the form that one person is going to submit from your group. So if you click on that, it'll open, and it's a Word document that person will complete based on all of your conversations. And this will make more sense once you view the video. So you need to choose the method or methods of communication. You need to think about a potential kind of schedule and plan, and then what to do when a group member does not participate, what's your plan for that? So it's just some questions to really think about, and even to look ahead, like who's going to take on these responsibilities in the upcoming weeks, so that's already settled, right? Because remember, these roles are going to be rotating. You're not going to be the person responsible for a majority of the work every single week, because that's the worst. So there is a space for that roles and responsibilities discussion. So if you just click on that link, you'll reply and start your own response. So put your name here, and then that's where you just start sharing. Like, okay, I looked at the video, I looked at the handout. These are some things that I'm thinking, this is what we need to really focus on. So if you notice that nobody else in your group has posted, be that person, right? I know that group work can be a little unnerving at first, and that's okay, but just jump right in. We're all in the same boat, right? So judgment-free zone, for real. Okay. So you have that. That's the roles and responsibilities, but then there's also, oh goodness, it happened again. There's also, in addition to the roles and responsibilities, you'll have an introductory post. And we already did like the major introductions last week. This is just a real brief, like, hey, I'm so-and-so, here are some quick things I shared last time, or here is, when I'm thinking about the group work this week, but that's mostly all the group work stuff is going to be in the roles and responsibilities post. Okay, so you should, as a group, see both of these. You just reply to them. Okay, and remember, you want to reply to one another. So if I post something, a response, you need to make sure that you've opened that response and are replying directly. You'll see what I mean once you get more comfortable with D2L if you're not already. All right, so that's the discussion areas. And then there's the assignment for the composition coalition roles and responsibilities, that form that I brought up. So this is set up in groups again, so only one person from your group needs to submit that form. So hopefully somebody has volunteered and will take on that responsibility, but it's a group effort, right? So that one person is not doing a majority of the work, they just happen to be submitting, the form, okay? So make sure that that is something that you are contributing to throughout the week. All right, and if we go back to week 2, so we've covered all of these, and then of course we have the week 2 quiz. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to make a pop culture reference. And so I'll mention somebody that I always reference in writing classes, and that's Beyonce, because obviously. But also, I always think of writing in terms of the work that it takes, because a lot of us, and we'll think about this with Irvin's article this upcoming week, a lot of us don't have a lot of confidence in our writing, or we have elements in our writing that we still kind of struggle with. Whatever the case may be, I always come back to the fact that, like, Beyonce did not wake up as Beyonce. She didn't wake up one day and think, I'm going to be this amazing superstar. She put a lot of work into it, like a lot of work. So that's what we need to think about. We're not going to put the kind of time and energy into our writing as Beyonce does in her career and has over the past so many years. But this semester, it's about that practice. It's about getting more comfortable. It's about building our skills and knowledge. So whenever you're kind of hitting a wall or feeling frustrated, just think of Beyonce, and that we're striving for a fraction of what she puts into the time and effort for her just to be the megastar that she is, the amazing megastar that she is. And we're just kind of putting that practice and effort into our writing. All right, so that is everything for this week. As always, reach out if you have any questions. I really appreciate people using that Q&A discussion post area, and I really invite any of you to answer your colleagues' questions if you know the answer, right? I'll jump in there, as often as I'm able to help out, but we're at the point where helping one another, that's what that area is for. But if you have something a little bit more specific, want to reach out to me directly, absolutely send an email. A lot of you did because of that assignment issue, which I appreciate, on top of those of you who posted in the Q&A area. Y'all, I'm really hoping that issue is in our past, but with D2L, you just never know. But it's going to be a good week. Good luck this week, and of course, reach out if you need me.